Ooh, okay. Welcome to the video. It's a bit windy today, and also the sun is hitting this bay at a weird angle. So if I just move the camera over, so you're kind of actually at almost the 45-degree throw line, believe it or not, where that camera is placed. Remember, it goes out across the aim line and flight line and runs up your body. So as long as you can throw your hands up here when you turn, you can see how dialed in you are. But here's an interesting thing that you'll only develop and feel when you're, the more you practice this. And we've talked about it, the vertical throw. You need a lot more vertical throw than rotation. That's this part here, but it draws everything up. And then to actually shallow your swing, you're dropping down to come through. So your club's going from up here, because you drop your club shallows, like all good players, it comes through. What does this give you? What did Ben Hogan know that we all missed? Ben Hogan at impact was, his right arm was never extended. The reason for that is he didn't have to extend his right arm to reach the ground. Hogan could keep his arm bent like an L shape because he could drop his height so that he could remain with his angle in his arm, trail arm, all the way through the ball. So the more you learn the throw in the 45 with a blended turn, the more you'll discover that you can use the ground forces up the way and down the way to keep you, and you'll also find that you watch from this angle. So when I'm doing this throw and I'm coming back down, you see how everything clears? You end up like over here. Again, you are not consciously thinking about this or aware of it at first, but because you're now throwing the club up and using the forces that are there that you're supposed to be using, eventually this starts really clicking and you make a sudden jump between hitting great shots to understanding what's actually going on by just pure feel. And then when you watch your motion, you can relate that to the likes of Rory, Tiger. It doesn't look dissimilar. It's not going to be the same because every single one of us has one key little difference from every single player, and that is their body shape, their feel and their mobility with the master code, which is the 45 throw, backswing, downswing. So you'll actually get your own style, which is interesting because that takes you back to the 1930s, 1940s, when no player swung the same way, but they all had individual styles. And you know, you could spot Sam Snead from a mile away. You could spot Sir Henry Cotton from a mile away. You could spot Lee Trevino from like 3 miles away. Seven Ballesteros, Tom Watson. If you take the pros of today and watch, their swings are fundamentally very, very, very similar. They're all doing exactly what I'm telling you. So anyway, that was a brief introduction to this. So what we're working on today is a bit more up and a bit more down. Just getting used to the fact that you can go exceptionally quite low with your knees on the way through. And all that does is, it means instead of early extension, which is both arms too straight at impact, you'll actually be able to meet the ground and have your lead arm in, which gives you more leverage and gives you more control. And it doesn't mean that you're throwing away energy before you've met the golf ball, which is also key. So start slow. You don't need to be hitting full shots. We can throw up, get in here and get this in bed with little half shots, and don't need your feet wide for this either. It's a great way to warm up like that, because, and I know I harp on about this, your hands on the Vartan grip, you go through, and this V here and this V here point up here. So your hands only move on a line the same as the 45. This movement doesn't happen until way after you've hit the ball. The Michelson release after the ball, which is that. Nothing happens to your hands are thrown up on the same line. And you just blend the turn. So when you're warming up, just keep that in mind, your hands are still doing this. And you're keeping this in. The bigger the swing, same principle, you can use the ground more, because your vertical throw is taking you up and it's taking you back down. Your head is remaining balanced in the same position, but sure, your head is going to go down in the downward swing. So you're going to drop height. Don't be like put off with someone telling you that, oh, your head's got to remain still, because your head's not moving like this, but your head will drop in height, because you've got to shallow the angle enough so that you can have a straight lead arm and a bent trail arm at impact. The only way you can reach the ground to do that is to drop, so that you can meet the ground. And you do that with every club. Obviously, if it's a small shot, you're not doing it as much. And it's not really, let's make this clear, it is not a conscious movement. It is a reaction to the correct throw and room at the top. Okay? Now at first, you probably will have a bit of early extension, because you'll be scared about dropping height. It will not come naturally, because for years you haven't been doing that. You've been doing this rotational swing that just is absolute nonsense in golf. If you want to knacker your back, put your back out, put strain on your hips, put strain on everything, that your spine angle, everything, you keep hacking away with that rotational nonsense. Right. So again, feet in narrow, it's a short shot. Sometimes I even put my heels together. And if you put your heels together, you're really imparting a lot of trap on the ball. So you put your heels together on short shots, you can hit the ball relatively hard, but you're never going to hit it as far, because you basically not got any stance, your heels are together. So you can actually swing quite authoritatively, trap it and put some spin on the ball to actually make it stop. Great way to warm up. Also keep yourself in balance, because one of the greatest drills from way back was to hit balls with your feet together. And I could do that, but I never really understood why it was so good. So if you stand with your feet together, and you do the vertical throw and the turn, you have to stay completely vertically balanced. You can obviously move up and down, but if you go anywhere, you're going to fall over. So this is a great way to drill it as well. Do it slow. Nobody hits the ball in the backswing. So it's up, slow. Keep yourself completely balanced. And it gets you used to the fact that with this 45 throw, because you are vertically loading the club into a position at the top of the swing where it's up here, and you are shallowing and just letting the club fall using gravity as your friend, the stored energy and power in this is second to none. You will not have to muscle any golf shot ever again. The sheer power stored in this is effortless power, and it's all in the correct space, which is, to clarify this, your vertical throw in the 45 has to be, and it looks odd, out in front of you at all times. So if I'm not turning, I really show this to exaggerate it. There it is there. There's the backswing and the downswing. But of course you're not swinging like that to hit a golf ball. You've got to move your shoulders, so at the same moment you're... And that is how simple it is. With every club in the bag. I'm going to stop the video here so that it's not too long, and then you can rewind this and watch it again, rewind it and watch it again, because it fits in to everything that we've videoed prior, but with more explanation as to the whole mechanics of it. But remember, these mechanics are actually all done with two moves. There's no thought, there's no movement spots. It's all reactionary to two actions. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope the sun's not too mega bright, like, I mean, it's absolutely cracking day, but it is a tad windy. Channels all for charity, Macmillan Healthy Heroes, Shelter UK, that's where all the ad revenue goes. Thanks for your support. The comments in the comment section have been brilliant. Really enjoyed the whole fact that everyone's finally getting this. You can hear the difference. It's just, like I say, it's the greatest magic trick in golf ever. And every shot comes out the middle. The middle, up, fourth groove, middle and middle. Thanks for watching.